What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Tina Parker Show. Before I get started, I just need to say a few things. I want to be clear on this. This episode is not about shaming women. This is about exposing a billion-dollar system that was never built to protect us, ladies. Okay, I was on OnlyFans, and I got off in August, I think, something like that. And like so many women, I thought I understood the platform. I don't have a problem with someone going on OnlyFans. I'm going to talk about why a lot of women went on OnlyFans and are currently on OnlyFans. I've watched and listened to interviews from women that love it, and they're probably still doing it. I've also watched interviews of women that have left it. Okay. I I'm all cool with, some people do it just for a period of time. Some people do it be getting themselves through college. Maybe it's stripping. There's so many different reasons why women might go there to, create income for herself. And at first sometimes it feels empowering. For me, it felt empowering. It was like I'm in control. But over time I started feeling like burnout. I started feeling like I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want a guy some stranger to say, "Hey, I want this," and then, you got to go do. I just got tired of that. I felt used and abused, even if it's for money. Um, so anyway, let me just continue on. I think so many women go on there feeling the same way. I thought it was creators, which it is, autonomy and quick money in a hard lesson or hard season, I mean, for people. And sometimes it is a hard lesson, right? I had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. And this is what this episode is about. I've been kind of going into a rabbit, what do they call that? A rabbit hole? Learning more and more and how things are interconnected and come, organizations and people, and I'm just blown away. You could just really dig deep and fall into this hole. And it's not to be like create a depressing episode. It's just about being real, sharing the truth, bringing awareness to something that I think a lot of people aren't aware of. I didn't know, and um, I just want to tell women that be aware, follow the money, know what's going on. Because I think if women knew what was really going on, they wouldn't want to be a part of it. Because if you think about it, why would you want to be a part of an organization that is committing crimes and paying off people to leave them alone, basically, to let them continue running and operating this business the way it is? Because there's a lot of money involved, a lot of power involved. So let's keep going here. I didn't know there were traffickers using the platform, to be honest. I didn't know Visa and Mastercard were accused of processing illegal transactions. And I definitely didn't know the billionaire owner allegedly pledged up to 11 million to AIPAC. And first of all, let me just say, I didn't even know what AIPAC is. I had to dig to figure out who are they, what are they about, who do they fund, and what are their values? Okay. That organization is one of the most powerful political lobbies in America. And there's so much more to that. It's like it can burn your brain, really. Women are trying to survive. Let me just say that, okay? There's women out there, I've talked about this. There's single moms, there's women that are, trying to take care of their families, and they're trying to make a living, and they're dealing with the pressures of a separation or a divorce, or trauma from when they were a child. I mean, there's so many things, okay, going on in the world. We never know what someone is going through. I just want to say that. But I know there's a lot of women just trying to survive. Okay, while the people at the top were gaining wealth, influence, and political power. And I have no problem with, businesses making money. I think you should. I think you should make a lot of money. I think you should grow it as big as you possibly can. What I don't like is when I learn institutions, organizations that are doing corrupt things behind the scenes that's hurting other people. If it doesn't hurt other people, then, I don't, whatever you want to do with your money, whatever. But when it's actually hurting other people, this is where I can get a little passionate, okay? So today we're following the money. We're exposing what was hidden, and we're talking about the truth that every woman deserves to know. So let's dive into these receipts, okay? It's a lot. And I did all this homework today for you. So as I mentioned, I was once on the platform, okay? And so I'm speaking as someone who lived it, not an outsider. I grew up in a very diversity, I have a very colorful background, okay? I spent time with strippers. I didn't grow up in a church, welfare, sexual abuse, not from my parents, but a stranger, pedophile, chaos, really, okay? Single mom, my mom and dad got divorced when I was in second grade. And, I got pregnant at 16, got on welfare, believed my daughter gave me purpose. I believe she was a blessing to me. Got married when she was in second grade to my first husband. We divorced. And then I got remarried, and I'm in a separation now. I did incredible things in the banking industry. Went from dropout to a vice president of banking. Was recruited, promoted, all the things. Okay, I did great things, and I was very grateful for that time. I've done drugs. I've done cocaine. I've smoked marijuana, not very much because I didn't really like it. Not very much on the cocaine either because it was weird for me. This is snorting thing up your nose, that stuff's weird. It just feels weird going down your throat. Anyway, I've done a lot of things. I've done Molly. I've done ecstasy. I've done a lot. Okay. I've also, on the flip side, was in the primary presidency in the LDS Church. I spoke at in the stake meeting. What do they call that? Conference, stake conference. That was crazy because you know how many branches, your meeting house, what do they call meeting houses? Your church, how many churches are in there, and then they all go to the conference, right? State conference. I spoke at the state conference, so I had a lot of people there. I'm so grateful for all of my experiences and everything. Everything has shaped me into the woman I am today. Okay. Then I went through a separation, emotionally drained, scared, survival feeling. No one was hiring during that time. So I went to OnlyFans. And I felt empowered, like I'm in control, you know what I mean? And then later, I just felt like this isn't for me. There's more for me. I am too, just like you, if this is for a woman, watching this, you are as well. You are so talented. And I have a whole segment on that and what you can do. But I just want you to know that you have so much more to give. Okay. So, but I want you to know the truth about what's going on. And even if you're not in OnlyFans, even if you are part of anything, okay? Anything that takes up a lot of your time and they're huge organizations, always look for where the money is being spent. Look for, are they empowering people or are they controlling people? There's a huge thing. You got to watch that, okay? Because I've done episodes about that. Let's talk about the OnlyFans trafficking investigations, okay? So Reuters investigation confirmed traffickers. I did not know this. Traffickers were using OnlyFans to exploit women and minors. This is confirmed. Women were coerced by boyfriends, pimps, traffickers, managers. Now, if I just did a video the other day and said, talked about, they were saying that, Kris Jenner is a pimp, and they were saying that Kim Kardashian is a prostitute. And I did a video that said, hey, call me a whore, call me a prostitute, I don't care. Like, she's created an empire, not just for her entire family. Okay. In that situation, she's not like hurting other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like minors, trafficking minors. Granted, she's someone that a lot of young women might look up to. And most of the people that are young right now that are looking up to her, they don't know even how she got so big. Okay. It's only us that are older. And I don't even know that that's true. I never saw any video. But anyway, I was just saying I'd do it, But I'm just saying these are traffickers that are using OnlyFans to exploit women and minors. This is something different. Kim wasn't, she was all for it too. Like, she was in on it. Okay, she wanted to create the scandal. This is different to me. Okay, some minors used fake IDs or trafficker controlled accounts. Content behind paywalls made it nearly impossible for investigators to find illegal material. Creators had no idea this was happening, but the platform benefited from the money. This is why I want to talk about it. Because if I didn't know, there's got to be thousands of women that don't know either. You hear me? Let's talk about Visa and Mastercard. That's huge. Okay, I was a banker. I understand how these systems work. So this is what happened. A whistleblower filed a complaint with FinCEN. That's the U.S. Treasury, okay? The claims is that Visa and Mastercard failed to stop payments tied to child sexual abuse material. Okay, they allegedly ignored warnings dating all the way back to 2021. I had no idea. They failed to meet anti-money laundering requirements, which is the Bank Secrecy Act. This means money was flowing through the system while victims were being harmed. That pisses me off. Does it piss you off? Put it in the comments. If you can relate with me, if you have a story, if you have a colorful background, if you were on OnlyFans, put it in the comments. Connect with me. Don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid, because I'm very, I'm judging this guy, but I'm not, I know what you've been through. If you're a woman, I don't care what age, but hopefully an adult. I understand you, okay? We understand each other. Yeah, they failed to meet the Bank Secrecy Act. And victims, minors, were being harmed. Nobody stepped in because money was being made. And this is I'm going to get into why nobody stepped in. This is my belief. Empowerment cannot exist in a system that profits off exploitation. Okay, here's the internal receipts. The Avery Center of University of Northern Colorado documented traffickers profiting off victims' content. OnlyFans and processors taking cuts. Can you imagine the processors that were making a shiz ton of money. OnlyFans and processors taking cuts from coerced content. Private paywalls mean investigators can't easily access content. Because, everything is, really tight pretty much to get in. The platform says zero tolerance. They say that, but zero tolerance means nothing if you can't see what's happening. Women had no idea. The public had no idea, but the system did. And the profits, they flowed upward, not to creators, not to victims. Because they get, if you are not aware, if you've never been on OnlyFans and you don't know, they take a cut. They take 20% cut, which I'm all fine. I mean, they've got to make a living. I'm cool with that. Okay, fine. They take a cut. But when you find out that there's been minors trafficked and even women that were probably coerced, okay, and then trafficked and exploited and all the money and who's being paid off, this is where it gets really just creepy and sick. The alleged 11 million AIPAC connection. Internal donor documents reported by journalists show OnlyFans owner Leonid Radvinsky and his wife, I might be boshing the whole name, allegedly pledged up to 11 million to AIPAC. So then I was like, who is this AIPAC? Who owns it? What are they about? What are their values? Well, if you saw all the millions they're paying lobbyists in the United States, but they're tied to Israel. Okay, so it's an Israel organization, like charity organization. It's to have a great alliance, but they're set up in America, but it's for Israel. It's really deep, like how the whole thing is connected and the understanding. And apparently, you are supposed to, all the other countries are supposed to get registered to have an organization like this, to create an alliance. They're all supposed to register for it. I mean, this goes deep. JFK told him that back in 1959, and then he was shot, so it never went through. But they are set up in America, United States, so I don't know if that overrides it. I don't know. But it's weird that they are the only ones that were able to do it. Israel, okay? And there's just some deep, dark, ugly things going on with this whole Israel thing. I don't know everything about it. I'm learning. I was digging into this specifically, and then I wanted to know who is being paid off within that organization and what are their values? What are they for? Well, why would OnlyFans pay them? So you have to ask these deeper questions to kind of get to the root reason, Then I'm like, wait a minute. I wonder if there's any sex trafficking going on in their country or near their country, that somehow they're wanting to protect that situation. You know what I'm saying? So, or maybe OnlyFans wants to just be protected here in the United States, and so they pay off the United States political officials to, hey, leave us alone, protect us. Because why OnlyFans would pay this Israel organization? Does it make sense to you? It doesn't to me, unless they're trying to protect something. Radvinsky denies it, but did not explain why internal documents list his name. So let me get this straight. Women were on OnlyFans trying to survive. Traffickers were using the platform. Visa and Mastercard allegedly didn't stop illegal payments. And the billionaire owners' profits may have gone into a powerful political lobby, including people like Ted Cruz. There's so many. It's so tight. And everybody that's been given money is really trying to protect this organization. It's really, they just don't want to answer any honest questions. They like try to, like, flip it, change the subject. They don't want to answer things. They try to make it look good when it's corrupt. So that doesn't look like empowerment to me. It looks like a money pipeline. So if you follow the money, and you will always find the truth. How does the system fail women? Let's talk about that. The women on OnlyFans were the face of the platform, not the beneficiaries. Creditors, sorry, not creditors, creators hustled for rent. They did. They're just trying to make a living, covering their expenses. A lot of them are single moms. Some of them are not, but a lot of them are just getting by. The top 1% made the majority of the money. Meanwhile, traffickers exploited victims, payment processors profited, and billionaires gained political influence. Women were told it was empowerment, but no one protected them. Empowerment without protection is exploitation dressed up as freedom. That's another thing I kind of felt. I felt empowered. I felt free, but it's not. It's a facade. Women deserve better than being the product in someone else's empire. Especially when you learn all the dirty stuff going behind. I mean, there's a lot of women that, are mentally burned out, that are mentally, dealing with some mental health issues because of it. And then we've got this dirty stuff going on behind the scenes, off the money you're making them. So here's what you need to know. This isn't to shame any women or any woman who's joined that platform. It's not what this is about. This is about bringing awareness, okay? To many joined for survival. Single moms, women in abusive relationships, women abandoned financially, women without support, women trying to feed their kids. You were surviving. You were resourceful. You were trying to make it. But you deserve to know what was happening behind the curtain. This is about awareness, discernment, safety, and integrity. Women deserve transparency. Women deserve protection. And women deserve better systems. Here's where the money flows, okay? Let's break it down. There's creators, right? Creating. Then it goes to the platform. The processors, payment processors, okay? The owner, AIPAC, policy, the lobbyists, and all the senators and all the people in political positions. Not all of them, but there's a large sum of them that are receiving money, okay? And they create policies to protect these type of organizations that might be doing something corrupt. So they're completely aware of sex trafficking. They're completely aware of what's going on, and they're being paid off to be quiet and to protect them. Everything flows upward. The money, the influence, and the power. Women were just the content. The real beneficiaries were the people at the top. This is why I said follow the money. And it's not just this. I have other content that talks about other institutions that I've been a part of. That same thing, follow the money. Money exposes the truth faster than anything else. So here's my message to you ladies. This is what I want you to know. If you were ever on OnlyFans, you are not defined by that chapter. You are not shameful, you are not ruined, and you are not a mistake. You have skills, badass skills, okay? You have marketing skills, content creation skills, engagement, discipline, resilience, and branding. You just got to rebrand yourself outside of that, okay? There's so much you can do. You can build anything. You can reinvent yourself. You can rise. Your story is not over. It is just the beginning. If you haven't left and you're looking for a way to leave, message me. I've actually created a group called the Women of Action Academy, and you can join the online platform for free. It's in my show notes. I speak up because you matter. Your future matters, and we will not, ladies, we have to unite on this front. We will not let corruption hide behind the buzzwords like empowerment. I love empowerment, but I also love leadership, and I love women that are driven. I love women that are assertive. I love women that are confident. Okay? Confidence is important. Sometimes these platforms can tear you down so bad that you lose your confidence, and I don't want to see that. All right, so here's just some final thoughts and a call to discernment. Always ask who benefits, who profits, who is protected, who is not protected. Empowerment is not real if you are being lied to. Truth protects women. Awareness protects women. Discernment protects women. And I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for waking up if you haven't already. If there's anything I can do for you, if you have questions for me outside of, within this conversation or even outside of this conversation, I am here for you. I am happy to help walk you through it. I hope you have a great rest of your night. It's Friday. Bye.